Okay, the time is now 7 o'clock. I'd like to call this Town of Plainfield Board of Selectmen meeting to order for February 8th at 7 p.m. Ask that you please rise for the, if I can get it here, wait a minute. What did I do? There we go. Ask that you please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, we'll go through roll call.
Art Gagnon.
Kevin Cunningham.
Becky Hewitt.
Okay, don't see Kathy on yet. We'll go for the approve of the minutes for January 29th.
Make a motion that we approve the meeting minutes for January 29th, 2021.
I second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, item D, public comment. Hearing none, we can move on to old business. Discuss and act on a rehabilitation ordinance, which we moved motion table from last meeting, and there is a property tax deferral. I believe, Art, you have the newest version.
Mm-hmm. I also in the package, I got a copy of the application and the old version.
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
So you see what the suggestion is for a resolution for designated areas in the town for rehab areas. The purpose, the generic purpose of this is to look for ways to entice people to come in as business owners because it's non-residential. It would be to help them along to see that there's opportunities for them to come in, rehab a building, whatever it might be, or build something and be able to get some sort of idea that they'll have some property tax designation for as it resolved by. There's some of the state statute that it follows, but basically, if I get to the second page, improving the land or repairing the structures so that you can get some physical improvements moving on a building. I think I've used so far the idea of something like downtown Plainfield has a building that's been sitting there for a while. It is a vacant building that used to be a mini mart. So the idea if someone was to come along to purchase that property, they're going to put a lot of money into renovation, whatever it might be. So it's similar to Ordinance 103. We're trying to, and also it's kind of also like the idea of what happened when the enterprise zones have gone away. So that is still making it an option for them to utilize the resources in the town to still come in, build, and do rehabbing. Now, the two people that have been working on this so far are with us tonight. We have Mary Ellen Hall. We also have Mary Ann Chinati. And when I sat with them before, we were talking about different ways to modify and update this. Because I did have some questions on what would demolition be, what is the word other when we're talking about item 4, what does other mean, and who's going to follow up and make sure that they actually are making modifications to a structure. So here we go. So you notice that there's a change that was initially proposed, and now it's been changed. On item B, agreements shall be contingent upon the continued use of the property for purpose specified in that agreement and shall be for a period not to exceed 6 years or 7 years from the date of the agreement. If you notice, Art, from last time on the incrementals, it's been changed and modified so that it mirrors something that we talked about before, which is Ordinance 103, but it gives the residents an understanding that there is a property improvements being done, and their assessment is going to continue to increase over the 5-year period so that they eventually will pay the full value of the assessed modifications. But it gives them a break to, again, make those modifications and move forward. So our job is to read through what is written here to see if we have any questions or concerns, and pose those to either Mary Ann or Mary Ellen to see what we can do to structure this in any different format before we approve to move it forward to a town meeting, if at all. So Art, do you have any comments on that one?
Do I have any questions?
Questions, comments?
Sure I do. On the application itself,
Mm-hmm.
second page, number 4, list current and proposed uses. Well, you got it? It says residential. I was just wondering about that because it's supposed to be non-residential.
Mary Ellen, are you on? You can.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so anything apartments that is 5 units and above is considered commercial properties, but is considered a residential use, could be considered a residential use because they're living quarters.
Okay. So that would tie into the other question I had on the resolution itself. Let me find it. Yeah, so 5 family and above is considered non-residential for this use then.
Right.
Correct. Oh, that's all the questions I had on it.
Okay.
Could I ask a question, please?
Sure.
Mary Ann Chinati, Town Planner. In revising the proposed resolution, and it is a resolution and it's not an ordinance,
Mhm.
I would like to clarify that as well.
Thank you.
On item 4B, where we reduced the deferral years to 6, does the board want to think about reducing the 7-year period to 5 years with possibly an extension allowed if it's approved by the Board of Selectmen for another 5 years? That would, for example, if you've got a very large commercial development going up, they may very well need more than 5 years to complete their construction. The Planning and Zoning Commission has a 5-year limit on site plans with 1 5-year extension allowed. So this would kind of go hand in hand with that. I don't know if the board wants to consider that or wants to just leave it at 7.
I don't mind doing that at all. The question I would have would be, are we then stepping on the toes, so to speak, of the P and Z? Because the extensions, aren't the extensions done by P and Z right now?
Yeah, they are.
So would we word it so that we would do recommendation to extend and then bring it to P and Z for their approval?
I can reword that if you like.
I think that might work that way. Because I mean, you're right. There are some projects which do take somewhat of a longer period of time to complete because of the size and scope of what they're doing.
Okay.
Mary Ann, I'm glad you brought that up because I did have a question about 4B. When the project is completed, the renovation's completed after, according to the 7-year period, that's when the 6-year period starts, the agreement starts?
Exactly.
Deferment, okay.
When the CO is issued.
Okay.
Correct, Mary Ellen?
That's correct.
Okay. And I have no problem with the 5-year.
I think that's appropriate too.
Extension, that's fine.
I'll reword that and get that to you in the morning then, Kevin.
Okay. So with a rewording of it, I would like to entertain a motion to table to the next meeting so we can have a final copy.
So moved.
And I'll second that. All in favor, say aye.
All right.
Aye. I think we're all just about there on this one, so that sounds good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. The next one up is For new business, item 1, consider an act on tax refunds as requested by the tax collector totaling $5,626.13 as follows. Ryan L. Hebert, $14.25. Lyman Development Corp., $5,611.88. That's a rather large figure. And so that came through. If Mary Ellen, if you have any other words on this one, this basically came through after settlement agreement, I believe.
Right, we have a stipulated judgment for the October 1st, 2019 grand list. What's important here to understand, this is for 2 parcels. It's not just for 1 parcel. And unfortunately, the assessment was reduced, and we had to reduce the assessment.
So you applied as much as you can to the other properties owned, and then the rest is left over as $5,611.88. So at this time, I would entertain a motion to do tax refunds to the tax collector totaling $5,626.13.
So moved.
And I'll second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. The last one up that we have here listed for business is consider an act on a transfer station agreement with Willimantic Waste. I am going to try to pull that up real quick. Bear with me one second. I want to get rid of that one, pull that up, and share that with you. I believe this is it. Bear with me. Yep. So the contract itself, comparatively to the previous contract, it's a, you have it in your packet there. But the differences that would be, I would say, are very limited. The only thing that they wanted to do was change one thing for recycles, and that is it was the mattresses. So we're moving it from bulky waste to a recycles. The only thing this does is where you actually would deposit that such item. So if normally they usually go in the bigger bin covered area, instead they go to another area off to the left. And that's, I think it's, they either move it off to the left or actually in that drive-through. So that's it. That's the only changes, except you'll notice that in the contract, there is a page. 7 times is still in full effect for 7 times per visit with the sticker. The only thing is the increase is to this year coming would be to $236,202.10, and the remaining years in the contract would be for an increase of 3%. Now, in the past contracts, they've been 9% annually. So this is now reasonable at 3% increases for the annual cost for the bulky waste. You have any questions, Art?
No, I just want to say thank you for getting it down to 3%. That's great.
Yeah, there's
It was needed.
it was 9% for quite a while, so that's why you were mentioning to me before why the big jumps, and that's kind of why it was 9%.
That was starting. That was starting to get to me last year. I'm like, wow, it's going to be high soon.
Yeah.
I'm glad you stopped that.
So Tim DeVio was able to work with us on this one, so the 3% was reasonable for the next 5-year period. With that, I would say that I would entertain a motion to allow the first selectman to sign for the transfer station agreement with Willimantic Waste.
So moved.
And I will second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And there's a few things for other. I'm trying to find where it is here. Here we go. Let's see if I can get that. I'll do the share. And I want to share with the public something we mentioned in a previous meeting. There's 2 items of updates for you. The town of Plainfield has now gone forward with a contract for the household hazard waste collection. This is just for the town of Plainfield. And I can say that we're looking for March 20th, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Highway Department. And I will be putting this both on Facebook page. I'll be putting this up on the town website. We'll have copies of this for distribution. We are going to have some signage as well, so we can put that out. But basically, it tells you what is available for you to bring for household hazard waste and some things that are not accepted. So you got to be paying careful attention to certain things, but what you can bring. But this gives us an opportunity to do the Household Hazard Waste Day. Hasn't been done since 2007. So I think we've tried to partner with other towns. It hasn't worked out, but this is an opportunity for the town of Plainfield to come forward with a Household Hazard Waste Collection Day. So at this point, that's what that is. And then if I can pull up the next one for you. We have been working with the Northeast District Department of Health and a group called SEMA4. SEMA4 is a testing group that is going to be doing testing for COVID-19. I probably heard the announcements that a couple of towns in the area are willing to utilize their town facilities to do testing. Plainfield just this weekend was able to work with SEMA4, and now we'll be doing testing with anybody can go, but we're making this opportunity available to any resident. So you don't have to drive out to go get this test. And if I can get this shared properly. There it is. This is what's one of the first of 4 flyers we'll be putting out soon. The idea is that we are going to look to make it so you don't have to drive so far to get a test. This is a 2 or 3 day turnaround test. You drive up to the senior center, one way in, one way out. You drive up to the back, and as long as you have your form pre-filled, it makes it so much easier because you're just going to go in and you are going to be able to fill a form out, pass it to them with your an ID card, and get your test done, and they will be able to return back to you your results. So that way we can do it from in town. And that will start on a holiday. It'll start actually on the 15th, Monday the 15th. It'll go every Monday, every Thursday. And I am in the process of trying to get it so that it's available also on Saturdays. This makes it much easier for people to do turnaround quickly with their testing. You don't feel good on a weekend. What do? You got to, sometimes it's not in the area. You got to drive out. So that's one of the important parts of this is I definitely want to try to get it on the Saturday, and I'm working on that detail right now. And again, 2 or 3 day turnaround. So those are the 2 things I've been working on very diligently for the last couple of days. And that's the current news for what's happening. Unless you have anything else, Art? Nope. Okay. All right, with that, I would entertain, unless there's anything else for other, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Yes, so moved.
And I will second. And all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And it's 7:18. Thank you very much. Everybody have a safe night. And I know there's more snow. No, is it a little bit of snow tomorrow? 1 to 4 inches, and maybe something over the weekend, Friday, Saturday. That's a little bigger. But thank you all and be safe.